I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is love like the sun. Love is a very misunderstood word. This is because we have one word to describe many different experiences and phenomena. And in my opinion, the word love is misapplied in the vast majority of cases. As discussed in a previous episode, love has nothing to do with relationships. Relationships are the medium through which value is transacted, and love is invaluable. It can't be bought at any price. Therefore, it has nothing to do with relationships. This is why you don't need love to have a relationship, and you also don't need a relationship in order to love. But you do need a relationship in order to get other things that do have transactable value. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how to love. My model for how to love is the sun. I'm not there yet, but one day I hope to be able to love like the sun. Let's unpack what that means. It's impossible to overstate the importance of the sun. It's not an exaggeration to say that the sun is responsible for maintaining life as we know it on this planet. If the sun were to stop shining or were to otherwise disappear, life would face an irreversible collapse within a matter of hours. We need the sun more than we can possibly acknowledge or could ever repay. And that's why it's such a blessing that the sun shines as a gift. Since a gift is given through the spontaneous generosity of the giver without any strings attached, there's no need to repay it. The sun doesn't shine because it expects anything in return, which is fantastic, because how could we possibly recompense the sun if we were in its debt? The same is true of love. Love is a gift given through the spontaneous generosity of the giver without any strings attached. It doesn't expect anything in return because there is no need to repay it. And this is because love, like sunlight, is invaluable. It cannot be bought at any price. So it's best to make a gift out of it. Do you understand? Now, the sun doesn't grumble when some of its rays fall on people who are ungrateful. Ugh, another hot sunny day. Ugh, this is getting insufferable. Like, the sun is kind of indifferent to how its light is received. And this indifference allows it to shine on everyone equally. It doesn't save its light for the people who like it or appreciate it or praise it or reward it. It kind of doesn't even notice where its light is going. It just sort of radiates its goodness. And it does this not because it expects anything in return, which again is great because how could we pay back the sun, but because that's just who the sun is. It's in the sun's nature to shine. Like, it can't not shine. It can't not radiate light and warmth. It's an expression of its being. And it would go against its nature to dim that light or suffocate that warmth or dull either out partially. When practiced correctly, love, like light, is abundant and impartial. The sun, like the true lover, isn't bothered when he isn't sufficiently praised or acknowledged or respected. Because again, it's not shining for any of these things. It's shining because it's a fucking star. It's in a star's nature to shine. Do you understand? Now, the most essential attribute of the sun from a spiritual perspective is its humility. It is by far the most important component of the solar system, and it's functionally responsible for maintaining all life on this earth. It has every right to be a tyrant, to demand praise and sacrifice and respect and appreciation. But what we see is the exact opposite, a humility bordering paradoxically on invisibility. If we actually had to acknowledge our dependence on the sun and appropriately express our gratitude, we would have to spend our entire lives just singing its praises. We wouldn't be able to serve others or watch baseball games or read books or cook soufflés or take naps or really do any of the thousands of things that human beings love to do. This is the sun's invisibility. It's strange to think about it since it radiates light and kind of makes all visibility possible. But just try to look at the sun for more than a few seconds. Your vision will start to go black. You won't be able to see it. So its radiance is actually its modesty and its humility. And since we literally can't see the sun, since we can't be in a direct relationship with it, we're functionally forced to kind of go about our business as if it didn't exist, while benefiting immensely from its light and warmth. And you know what? That doesn't bother the sun. The sun's humility is manifest in its being the most exalted feature of our world, while expecting nothing in return and experiencing satisfaction in its own invisibility as we go about our happy little lives. That's love. Now, before I go any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this episode to someone who might benefit from its message, because it's word of mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow. You can also hit the thanks button. It's right beneath the video that you're watching right now, and tip me in proportion to the value you feel that you've derived from this message, because it's your support that makes all of this possible. I couldn't do it without you, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Now, the closest approximation that we have to this feeling is the satisfaction that some parents feel when they watch their children playing a little in the distance. If they got any closer, they would interfere with the play and disrupt the moment. So they are content to remain invisible. And that's because love only seeks after the benefit of the other and thinks nothing of itself. It's the humiliated self, exultant. These parents are just happy that there is a safe place for those children to run and jump and sing and laugh. They don't mind that their children aren't reciprocating comparable value or expressing their gratitude or respecting their authority. And that's because these things actually aren't nearly as satisfying and precious as witnessing a happiness that believes itself to be unobserved. And that's why the highest response to love is not praise or appreciation or even gratitude. It's joy. And it's love that makes joy possible. Loving like the sun also means loving abundantly. Love doesn't keep score or worry that it's being cheated or being taken advantage of. Even if someone were to use or to steal some of the sun's light, how is the sun possibly diminished? Remember, love is not transactional, which makes it unconditional. Our time, energy, and money might be limited, but love is not. In fact, it's actually possible to tap into the source of love and experience it like the sun as a functionally inexhaustible resource. There is no scarcity here because love is abundant and inexhaustible. Now, if you're not getting what you want from a relationship for whatever reason, then just move on. Love wouldn't want you to suffer needlessly out of a misguided sense of duty. That's a form of projected spite born out of your own unhealed disappointments. And if you feel betrayed or unappreciated or unreciprocated, then just let go and find someone else. And there's no need to get upset. You can do this with love. Remember, love is an adverb. It's a quality of action. You can say, no, thank you. It's time for me to move on, with as much love as you can say, yeah, let's continue to walk together for a while. And this is especially important because you can only really let go of someone in love. Anger is a clenched fist. It holds on tight and won't let go. Love, on the other hand, is an open hand, or more to the point of this episode, broad daylight. It allows things to come and go in their own time. The idea is to approach love in the spirit of abundance. Abundance doesn't tally up the bill. Abundance doesn't keep score. It's the nature of abundance to be generous, and it gives, not because it expects anything in return, but because it kind of can't hold itself back. The sun doesn't feel cheated because its gifts aren't returned in kind. It doesn't even really notice what we're doing with its light and warmth. It's too busy radiating its refulgence. Again, if you're not getting what you want from a relationship, just move on and continue to shine. Shine when someone says yes. Shine when someone says no. Shine impartially and with indifference to outcome. Do this, and you'll find it's a pathway to spiritual evolution. Because the more you do this, the more you'll discover that you are the one that you've been looking for. You don't get love. You merely increase your capacity to express it. And it's in the expression of love that you feel it. When people say that they feel love, what they're really feeling is their own love leaving them. That's actually true of all emotions. So to get more love, you actually have to become more loving. And this is how you do that. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've gotten this far, you might as well like this episode and subscribe to this channel. You may also consider becoming a channel member with perks like the priority review of comments or booking a paid consultation. As always, thank you for listening.